Okay, welcome to the video. Good morning. It's actually 4:23 in the morning here in Beijing. Very early, but I'm up. I went to bed quite early yesterday. I was really tired, like 9 p.m. Then I woke up at 3:45, so I just got up, had a coffee because I'm doing intermittent fasting, and just some water with some vitamins. And now I'm gonna go for a walk here, basically, and I think I'm gonna take a longer one than I normally do. Maybe like 2 hours actually in the morning because my gym opens at 7. But before that, I'm gonna have a quick breakfast, probably some omelette, 2 egg whites, on 2 whole eggs and 10 egg whites, actually get the protein in, and then save the carbs for later, and then go to work. So it's kind of a final sprint here before the new year, and I want to get in the best shape possible before that. So I want to make sure I do my daily cardio, and after work sometimes you're tired, so I just want to make sure I do it first thing in the morning, no excuses, then gym, then you can go to work or school or whatever else you have to do, and then you're sure that you're not going to skip it. So that's just a small tip on how I do it every day. I'm going to just continue walking here and share some other thoughts that I have on my mind right now. So it's a bit interesting. Behind me here is the Sanlitun area. It's kind of like it's an area with a lot of shopping and stuff like that, but it's also a nightlife area. So you can see actually some of the bars are open there. Some people are still in there drinking, focusing on some other things that I'm doing at this time of the day, but everyone can do their own choices. But I just wanted to mention, so I haven't eaten anything before this, and obviously it's quite early, but I do intermittent fasting, or at least sometimes basically trying to keep the meals within a certain window of the day, like 8 hours or so. So you either maybe skip breakfast or dinner, or at least keep them not so late. Then you push the first meal a bit in the morning, so you kind of make sure you don't overeat. Because I think, at least for me, once I start eating, you actually start to get hungry very easily. So that's why I didn't eat anything before this, because I'm not walking, fasting, just have a coffee. You don't actually feel that hungry. But if I would have had a meal now, basically when I'm back in 2 hours, I'm probably hungry again. So that's a small tip. Just make sure you push that first one. So that's intermittent fasting as a strategy that I highly recommend if you have a problem to avoid snacking in between meals. A quick note though, as I'm passing by all these fancy stores, Gucci and stuff in the background, not really my cup of tea to spend my money. I'd rather invest them in the stock market. But anyways, of course, I actually exercise in the morning just because of the schedule. Gym opens 7 in the morning. So it's not ideal, I think for me at least, actually to skip breakfast or to just have a small meal before. It would actually be better for me to have a bigger meal with more carbs, but that doesn't really work with my schedule. And I would probably feel stronger than gym actually if I ate after work, but I'm always just tired. I want to have a dinner, so that's not ideal. So if you can maybe exercise during lunchtime or some other schedule that works for you, that might be better. It's totally up to you. But it's also quite nice actually go to the gym and not feel too full either. So completely up to you, but I just want to mention that. So experiment with what works for you. This just works for my schedule, and I make sure it gets done. And I think action over perfection is a quote I really like. So instead of trying to find like the perfect plan or schedule, just stick to something that works, so you get at least a little bit of progress. One step closer every day is better than one perfect step once a week or once a month. So that's at least how I just think about it. So another thing I want to highlight as well actually is the need to recover and rest. It might sound really crazy that I get up like 3:45 or 4 in the morning, but as I mentioned, I went to bed at 9, so I actually got almost 7 hours of sleep. And for me, getting maybe like 6, 7 or 8 is ideal. Actually, I try to get 8, but my body wakes up after maybe 6.5 or 7 actually. So I just wake up and feel it's ready to go, get to work and get things done and achieve my goals and so on. But of course it depends on you find what works. But I think for me, if I skip a day and get really little sleep, it works. But if you do that 2-3 days in a row, especially if you exercise, you get really tired and fatigued. So I think it's really key to listen to your body. So I'm not saying that you should only sleep 6 or 5 hours per day. That probably doesn't work for most people. So don't neglect sleep. That's something I did for many years of my life, but I can look back now and say that was probably a stupid choice of mine. So yeah, just wanted to make that very clear. I also want to make sure, of course, that you need to be sure it's safe to be outside. So I'm not saying you should be out walking this early in the morning if it's not safe where you are. But perhaps you have a treadmill, you know, at home, or you just do some exercise at home. You don't have to go out walking necessarily, but just make sure you're safe. Of course, here in China and Beijing, where I am, it's not really a big concern. But regardless if it is, you know, wearing a mask that I'm doing here, or, you know, just making sure that there's, you know, not an unsafe situation when not walking, just focus on that first, of course, before you focus on exercise. So yeah, don't do something that put you at risk, just want to make sure. I actually have some people taking a morning swim here behind me, and it's like -4 degrees or something. So if you think I'm crazy, I don't know about these people here. Clearly refreshing, that's for sure. You actually see here on the weekends, it's kind of a big group here always coming swimming, but 4:30 in the morning when it's -5 outside, that's a different level of commitment. So, you know, if you have big goals and dreams, go out and chase them. Don't let anything, including cold temperatures, stop you, as long as it's safe. Yeah, so as I mentioned in another video, I tried to do a bit more cardio now, but I went running 5 kilometers yesterday morning, so you definitely get a bit more tired, you know, it's more taxing on the body. So today I'm just taking a walk, because you basically don't get as tired from doing that. And then I'm doing gym, so I do it like every second day, or every third day maybe running, but at least alternating between sort of gym, walking or running, so it doesn't get too intense and too crazy. You need to let the body rest as well. Maybe take one day off where you know, only take a short walk, or do nothing at all, you know, it's completely up to you. But that's just how I do, you know, with my daily routine and exercise. So let me know how you're doing this. Are you doing the same way, or have some other better ideas maybe I should try? Let me know. Otherwise, you know, leave the comments. I'm very interested to hear. So I'm quite close to Cheyenne Park now. It's actually a nice street here in the background with a lot of different foods, like Japanese and Chinese and skewers. A lot of cool stuff. There's even kind of like a German bakery. So maybe I'll come back here on a weekend when it's brighter outside and more people, and maybe in the evening and try some of that food. So of course, you don't want to be on a diet forever and, you know, push yourself too hard. Of course, my goal is to get to my goal, but then to kind of keep it more stable. I really love, you know, eating food, especially Chinese food is amazing. So in the next year, my plan is to show you more of that and actually explore more, not just talk about dieting and exercise all the time. So that's my plan, but I just want to get to my goal. That's what drives me. So I just feel like if there's something out there that I'm aiming for, it's easy to get the motivation, like getting up in the morning and so on. So maybe I'm just crazy, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, if you enjoy these kind of tips, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.